Hello everyone and welcome to my class. Now to continue with this fifth chapter of class 10th history, that is the age of industrialization. In my previous video, the introductory video I have made, in which I have explained about the proto-industrialization phase in Europe, right, and England, right. Now, till so far we have discussed that the industrial growth-wise, England was the first nation where the industrial revolution started, and its knowledge, technological advancement spread to Europe, initially to Europe and later on to the rest of the world. Now, all these things were happening during the 18th and 19th century. Now, to continue further with the next topic, that is the coming of the factory. In proto-industrialization, I have explained how the initial thing started, a connection developed between the towns and the countryside, where for the sake of producing goods or making material on a large scale for the international markets, how the new merchants and traders, they approached to the countryside, because they were facing a stiff competition with the guilds or the association of traders and craftsperson in towns. So it became quite challenging for them to find out workers for themselves. So they approached to the countryside, and how the trade link developed between the rural areas and the countryside, or the town and the towns, right. Now in this topic, the coming of the factories, we'll see how the factory setup started in England. Now, the earliest factories that we see in England is around 1730s, right. This was the initial phase where the basic factory structures were made, right. How? Let's talk about, but before that, we'll see this data. That is the first factory which appeared on the British soil was of cotton. There were reasons behind why cotton, why not any other factory or any other industry. So we'll discuss it in detail. I'll tell you, just watch the video till then. The first factory that appeared on British soil was cotton, and this data is given in the book. In 1760, Britain imported 2.5 million pounds of raw cotton from its colonies. As you already know this thing, that the Britain was a colonizer nation, having many colonies. So Britain started exploiting its colonies for the raw material, because they have started with the factory thing, right. And though they were having good technologies and the factory, but they were lacking in raw material. So that demand of raw material was fulfilled from its colonies. So in 1760s, Britain imported around 2.5 million pounds of raw material, raw cotton, from its colonies, and this figure rose to 22 million pounds in 1787. Within 50 years, the growth of taking raw material or import of raw material from its colonies increased tremendously. Now this was a transition phase. This was the phase when the factories thing was establishing in Britain, especially in the field of textile, where such great demand of raw material was there, right. Now, what were the reasons behind why textile industry? Why not any other industry, as we have said? Because this was the time period when many inventions took place, right. And these inventions, whatever the machinery was invented, or whatever the new technology came, these technologies, these machineries were best suited to the textile industry, right. Every step of the process of making cloth or textile was improvised due to this. Like the inventions in the field of carding, spinning, twisting, rolling, means these are the steps involved in making cloth. Like carding is a process where the yarn, the fine quality yarn is separated from the poor quality, right? That yarn, with the help of twisting, they just twist the yarns together to prepare thread, right? Spinning is bunna, kapda bunna, right? Rolling is again a process which gives a fine quality to the cloth, a finishing, a proper finishing to the cloth. So these steps which were involved in the process of making textile, that improved. And here I'm giving you certain information, um, like the inventions and the inventors who made these things possible. Though you'll find this information in the book in different pages, but here I'm covering it. We'll discuss these inventions in detail later on. Like the inventions, cotton mill. First cotton mill was made by Richard Arkwright. Spinning jenny by James Hargreaves. Flying shuttle, John Kay. But these are the things, these are the inventions which are best suited to the textile industries. And due to these inventions, the production of textile became quite easy. It started giving it was saving time. It was started giving more finished goods, right? So sometimes in paper they'll ask for 1 marks question, like who invented the spinning jenny, or who was the one who established a cotton mill. So you need to know their names, right? Now when cotton mill was made by, or when cotton mill was introduced by the Richard Arkwright, what were the advantages of this? Now, supervision over the production process became easy under one roof. Earlier in countryside, what we have seen, from towns, the traders and merchant came, they give orders to the different people in countryside. The people with their families at their home, they were preparing the goods, right? And one fine day, the merchant again comes to the village and take the delivery of the goods, give them money, right? So this was the process, but it was quite difficult for the merchants or the traders to keep an eye on the production process. But if the production process is done under one roof, it becomes quite easy for the owner to look after all, easy for the person to supervise the work of production, how the work is doing, how the labor is doing the work. So supervision became easy. Sometimes what happened कि प्रोडक्शन इतना ज़्यादा प्रोडक्शन की अगर ज़्यादा डिमांड होती थी और अलग अलग लोगों को बनाने के लिए, गुड्स प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए कहा जाता था, तो ये बहुत मुश्किल होता था सुपरवाइज करना कि कौन कितने घंटे काम कर रहे हैं. सब अपने अपने घरों में काम करते थे, और जिस दिन जो डीलर है या जो मर्चेंट है वो आता था और उनसे गुड्स कलेक्ट करता था, राइट? लेकिन वो उसको ये नहीं पता होता था कि किस लेबर ने कितने घंटे काम किए, राइट? तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो थी प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस पे एक निगाह रखने वाली, वो आसान हो गई थी. इफ़ द प्रोडक्शन इज़ डन अंडर वन रूफ, अगर सब लोग एक जगह पे काम कर रहे हैं तो किसी को भी देख पाना आसान था, राइट? देन वॉच ओवर क्वालिटी, क्या किस तरह से काम कर रहे हैं, क्वालिटी क्या मेंटेन हो रही है, प्रोड्यूस की जो भी वो बना रहे हैं उसकी क्वालिटी मेंटेन है, उसे भी साइड बाय साइड साइमल्टेनियसली चेक किया जा सकता था, राइट? रेगुलेशन ओवर लेबर, लेबर अब अपनी मनमर्जी से काम नहीं करते थे, अब उनका एक फिक्स्ड आवर्स होते थे जिसमें कि जो भी ओनर है वो उन पे नज़र रख सकता था कि इतने घंटे आपने काम करना ही करना है और प्रोडक्शन करना ही करना है. सो दिस वाज द thing which became quite easy when the production task was done under one roof, right? So this is how the early factory things started, right? With simple machinery. with the traditional tools were replaced by the modern tools. Modern machinery came, the finishing and the quality improved. So this was one of the reasons that the textile industry first flourished in England, right, due to these inventions. Though the England was not having good sources of raw material in their own homeland, but England was having many colonies, and these colonies were used for importing raw material. And when the goods were prepared in England in factories, the prepared goods were soon transferred to other European nations, other colonies for selling purpose. So this is how the colonies were serving three purpose of Britain. It was a source of raw material. It was used as a market for selling their manufactured goods, and these colonies were later exploited for the finance purpose also, because these are the sources where from where the Britain was receiving huge sum of money, right? So these were the reasons. Economically, Britain was much sound than other nations, right? So these were the reasons due to which the factory system started in England. We'll be continuing with the same chapter in the next video. Please like, share and review and subscribe my channel. Thank you.